What's up, y'all? CLGilliams here. Oh, big back, big back. Anyways, CLGilliams here from CLGLifestyle. Hope you guys are feeling blessed and grateful to be alive. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to support the platform. So, as you can see in this video, this is the part of the video where I'm actually using the 360 or three-way mirror. I've been cutting my hair for by myself for a while now, and I've always used like just a regular handheld mirror and then the bathroom mirror, right? So I would put the handheld mirror in front of me and then use either the medicine cabinet mirror or the actual vanity mirror in the bathroom to help me gauge and get a sense of where my angles, right? And so today I decided to go and try this 360 mirror that people have been talking about. Originally I wanted to get my regular mirror, right, handheld mirror, because that's just what I've been using for a while, and I've become accustomed to just using it and it works for me, right? But today, as I went into the Walmart and I was looking around for the mirror, and I saw the mirror, but I didn't see the one that I want. So I ended up asking an employee, if they have any mirrors that I can use, a regular handheld mirror I can use to cut my hair. And so the employee was like, you mean, so she started looking on her gadget to see what aisle I would have to go to, right? And then she suggested the 360 mirror. So then I was like, I already knew what she was talking about because I'm familiar with it. I just never had a desire to buy it because, as I said, I've just been accustomed to doing things the way that I've been doing it, right? So she all right, we're back. I just had to check something. So right now I'm just basically showing you the clippers that I'm using. Again, I got this from Walmart. It's like a $20 clipper. It's not like a T, what is it called? The Andis T outliner. It's not as sharp. It's not as crisp. You don't get a crisp as much of a crisp and sharp lineup. But for me, it just works right now in the season that I'm in. And I find that right now I don't want a lot of attention, right? When you get a crisp shape up, you know what I'm saying? It's good, but it attracts, certain attention that right now I'm not interested in that right now. So this clipper, it's about $20. It works. I got it from Walmart. It works, and you'll see that that it works, right? Good enough for me at least. So because I cut my hair a lot myself, I'm never really to the point where what is it? Not Wolverine, but I'm never to the point where I'm not groomed. Okay, I'm always able to, either if I'm shaving my face or whatever, I'm always able to do that, and I thank God for that. I'm able to upkeep myself, right? And so, as I said, we're trying out this mirror. I did the unpackaging in another video. If you want to check that out, you can go ahead and do so. But the price was $50 retail price, and then with taxes it came up to like $54. I was also offered a warranty, that is if I guess something happens to it, Walmart would replace it or whatever. I didn't take it because it was $6. In my opinion, I just felt like it wasn't necessary, right? I said, Lord, thank you for this. I bless it, and I move on. That's what I've been doing a lot lately when it comes to things that I buy that, they'll offer you a warranty package or an extended warranty. It's good to get it sometimes, I guess, but when you're on a budget, you know what I'm saying? If it's something that you feel like if it breaks, it's not gonna be a big issue for you, right? Also, if the store already has like a 30-day money back or a 30-day or 90-day return policy, you're like, whatever, like I'm not gonna pay more. But some people do. Whatever you do, whatever floats your boat, do what you do. So as you can see here, I'm getting adjusted to this three-way panel because, as I said before, I would normally just use my mirror in my hand and then the bathroom mirror. and then the side, the as you could kind of see the shadow of the medicine cabinet against the wall, and that would be enough for me. But now I'm getting adjusted to this new way of cutting my hair, and it's a little bit of an adjustment because I've been doing the other way so long that I already have the technique with my hand, how I'm going to position my hand, how I'm going to move it. And so it's now, and this is my first time using this three-way mirror. So it's me, I'm in the beginning stages and I'm getting used to it. But I know as I use it more often that I'll become more, as they say, acclimated and more accustomed to how to use it for me. Everyone is different. So far, so good. You know what I'm saying? I like the mirror. You can adjust it. You can, so I'm going to, maybe I may attach it to this video, but I do have like a 5-minute video of me unpacking the mirror. And I actually am going to attach it to this video towards the end. I'm going to attach, it's about a 5-minute video and it shows me unpacking or unboxing the 360 mirror. So with that being said, it's not really much to talk about as far as cutting my hair. I'm not giving you a tutorial on how to cut hair. I'm just showing you just what I do as a lifestyle influencer in the season where I'm able to give you more insight on my daily living and what I do to upkeep and maintain myself as a single male. I know a lot of individuals, you know what I'm saying, they would love to be able to save extra $50, $100 a week. I don't know how often you get your haircut. Some people do it every 2 weeks, but this is, may inspire you to want to, say, you know what, let me learn to cut my hair, right? Let me practice cutting my own hair, because guess what? If you are making a certain amount of money a week or bi-weekly, it would behoove you to try to figure out where you can cut costs, right? It doesn't mean that you're being stingy. It doesn't mean that you're being frugal, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if you are talented, if you are gifted, and God has given you the ability to do certain things, why not take advantage of that, right? And so in the beginning stages, it's not always going to be the best, right? Everything that we do, practice makes quote unquote perfect, right? So the more consistent you're at, the more consistent you are with doing things, you're going to become better at it. I remember when I first started cutting my hair, I look back at certain pictures and I'm like, wow, I used to wear my hair like that. I used to leave the house like that. But at the time, I just felt really confident, and I liked my haircut because it was like, I was proud. It was like, wow, I really did this. But I've seen how I've grown so much in that area, and I thank God for that. But so be open to, don't be afraid of the ugly stages when it comes to doing new things, right? You're not always going to be great at doing something new. And this is one of the things that why people don't really step out of the box, or they don't get out their comfort zone, because you want to look good all the time. And that's not how it works. A baby, don't just start walking out the womb. It takes time for that baby to even become aware that they can walk, right? And then eventually they start crawling, they start walking, they may fall a couple times, but eventually they grow and they become adults, and, some become the fastest man or woman on earth, right? But anyways, the point is, as in being athletic and being, a sportsman or a sportswoman. So my point is that with everything, in this life, you can be gifted, you can be talented, but discipline and consistency is what's going to make you perfect your talent. So don't be afraid to try something new. Don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone. And in this case, don't be afraid to figure out ways how you can save money. Don't feel like you have to, also be at the whims or at the beck and call of your barber or of anyone in the service industry who, and I'm talking about even if it's, you're not able to cook right now and you always have to order food or get, use Uber Eats or what is it called? All of the food delivery services that, to me, I feel like it's becoming a ripoff when it comes to these services. I mean, I love that it's in the gig economy and it provides opportunities for people to work, but some of them fees and some of these extra charges, it to me just doesn't make sense. And when you get into it, because I was a Lyft driver and an Uber driver, so I have an understanding as to what the payment is. I used to do DoorDash as well, so I have a perspective on the payments and what you're paid. after all this work is done, and it has never, in my opinion, been worth it at all. So shout outs to all the individuals out there who is in the gig economy, who has, the extra, jobs or whatever, they're grinding and you're doing what you do. Shout outs to you, because I know it may look easy on the outside, but it's really not. It's long hours, it's really long hours, long driving, sometimes even the delivery. Like, let's say for instance, you have a Panda Express that is probably 5 minutes away from your house, right? You're thinking, okay, if I order this Panda Express, it's going to come quick and it's going to be here in no time. But the software or these platforms, I don't know how the algorithm work. I don't know how it is that they're able to select. I don't know the fine details about how these things work. But what I do know is that you'll order from Panda Express thinking that it's the one around the corner, but it'll end up being one that is like 10, 15 miles away. And I suppose that they selected based on the availability of the driver. But if they select the Panda Express that's like 15, 20 minutes away driving, by the time you get your food, it's not even hot. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. So maybe it's another industry that has to continuously, as I talked about before, grow and mature and perfect the model, but it's not worth it. So with that being said, if you're able to even cook, right, you're able to go to the grocery, you're able to order, your food online, whether it's from Walmart or Amazon Fresh, and you're able to cook your food, you know what I'm saying? And I like ordering groceries online specifically because you're able to set, when you order, let's say from Amazon Fresh, you may order some stuff and then you're able to select your schedule. You're able to select a specific time or time of delivery or time slot that you want your delivery made. And so it gives you more flexibility and more independence in that you are still able to, you don't necessarily have to go to the supermarket to go shop, especially if you're not driving, right? This is maybe another conversation, but in certain areas, in certain neighborhoods, it is more convenient for you if you were to have your stuff delivered, and I get that. But as I gave with the example, when it comes to Uber Eats and food that is from the restaurants that's already made and they're supposed to deliver it to you hot and fresh. Most times it's not hot and fresh, and to me it just doesn't make sense. Anyways, so cooking is another thing, another skill, another ability that can cause you to save a lot of money. I'm talking about me. I was someone who had no problem spending any amount of money, outside to eat, right? But I've realized that also just the quality of food, the quality of service, the experience in the marketplace has just went down to the point where it's like you don't even want to go outside to spend your money. And I don't care if it's $6 on a cup of coffee or $40 at the Red Lobster. I feel like when it comes to the marketplace and when it comes to you servicing people, there should be a standard. There should always be consistency in, customer service and just the experience as a whole. And I feel like that has completely, went down as far as the experience. And yeah, I get it. Everyone, it's levels to it, right? So you'll have people who will say, well, you know what? When you go to certain places, you'll never experience any type of poor customer service because it's just it would be unacceptable to go into, let's say, a 5-star or 5-course meal restaurant and you experience anything less than stellar customer service, right? And so I'm not saying that if you go to Wingstop that you should have a 5-star experience all the time. What I'm saying is that when it comes to customer service, there should be fundamentals, or foundational experiences that should be across the board, right? Hello, how are you? How can I help you? Just having a pleasant disposition. Yes, I get it. Some people will have, and I'm going on a tangent here, but I get it. Some people may have a bad day. Some days you may not be really into it. Yeah, you're human. I get it. But we need to train our employees. We need to train our people. If you're someone in the marketplace and you have a business or you have something where you're providing a service to people, we need to really elevate the customer service experience, and make it to where people want to come out the house again, where they're not saying it's better to stay inside and order Uber Eats and pay exorbitant amount of money on fees, as opposed to walking out their door and going into an establishment and just experiencing good customer service and quality hot food right there and then. So that's just my opinion on the current state of affairs when it comes to the marketplace and stuff like that. But back to this video. So as you can see, I'm still, I'm adjusting to using these mirrors. And again, if you want to save money, I'm going to keep pushing that out. If you want to save, I know the barbershops, as someone told me, I went to the barbershop recently, a couple times recently, and I didn't pay more than $30. Why? Because of the type of haircut I requested. The first one, I wanted my hair just bald, so he balled it off, shaved my face, and he charged me $25. I gave him like 30, right, or something like that, or 35. The second one was just a shape up. I had him shape up, gave me a regular shape up, and then just clean off my face, and he charged me $25, and I gave him like a $5 tip or something. Now, with that being said, the second haircut that I went to, that I had done, the haircut was like, he gave me, I ain't gonna front, he gave me like an old man haircut, right? The lines weren't sharp. It was given 50-year-old, 60-year-old, you know what I'm saying, old man. Shout out to my Caucasian brothers out there, but one of those haircuts that you would see on an older Caucasian male who, maybe wealthy, maybe on vacation, and he, maybe did it himself. But the point is, is that I feel like, when you go to the barber, you should be getting a better, crisper shape up than you would if you were to do it yourself, especially if you're not a barber, especially if you're someone who is not skilled in cutting hair. There was no reason why my shape up and my lineup would have been better than his had I stayed home and did it. And so that kind of again turned me off and just reminded me as to why I started cutting my hair, because I just couldn't find barbers who, and I have a my head shape is unique, right? And so I just couldn't find the right barber to cut my hair the way that I wanted to be cut. So that is originally what inspired me to start cutting my hair. On top of also, I've been, financially, right? I've been trying to figure out this life financially, the financial aspect of life, for a very long time. Okay, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I'm not going to pretend. I know how to, as Paul said, I know how to live with much, and I know how to live with little. And that is something that I've just had to learn just growing up where I grew up. Growing up, not in the most, how would I say this? Not in the most prestigious or in the most affluent way. I grew up fortunately with an amazing grandmother who worked hard, in the United States. When she decided to retire, she went back home and to Grenada, the island of Grenada, and that's where I experienced a very wholesome childhood experience, and it was a blessing. I didn't like it then, because as a child you want to be next to your parents, but your biological parents, and so I didn't really appreciate it then. But I appreciate it so much now, because I realized what God was doing in those times, okay? And even what he's doing now. So with that being said, always having to be, struggle can make you creative. Struggle will make you resourceful. Struggle will make you consider things that you wouldn't necessarily consider, because you just didn't have the opportunity to figure it out, because everything has been given to you. So struggle has been a blessing. But at the same time, you only want to struggle but for so long, right? At some point you want to rest. At some point you want to have just a life where, not that things comes easy to you per se, but just to have your basic needs met, and to have the ability to live a life where you can not only live the life that you want, but also bless and inspire others to do the same thing. So that is where my mindset is at right now, and on this journey to becoming the best version of myself as a lifestyle influencer, influencing you to love self. I'm going to be creating content that is going to inspire you and encourage you, this being one of them. So if you're in a season right now where you're trying to be more resourceful or more frugal, take consider doing your own haircut, especially as a man. It doesn't take much. Consider doing your own haircut, and you'll be surprised to know how much money you'll be saving at the end of the month and at the end of the year, and how you can also use those funds to invest in something else that will advance and elevate your life, whatever that may be. So cooking is going to be something else that I'll be doing as well. It's another way that you can save lots